Are 13-2 after a huge win on the road in Seattle. We got our winners and losers, and let's talk about it.
Let's do that. But first, of course, giving away a JJ McCarthy rookie card. So get the hashtag Skol in the comments, like the video, and subscribe if you haven't already. Let's get into the show.
What is going on, everybody? Thank you so much for joining us for the 13th Victory Monday of the season. Your Minnesota Vikings, of course, go into Seattle and win in Seattle for the first time since 2006, 27-24, in a game that was sloppy, kind of ugly at times, but there was also some huge plays. Obviously, in Seattle, speaking of sloppiness, one of the things that you always do need to worry about in Seattle is that weather. And it was a typical Seattle day, rainy, kind of mucky. And who would have thought this turned into a quarterback shootout between Sam Darnold and Geno Smith, and the run game barely had any impact. Exactly what you would expect from a Seattle rainy day type of game. But either way, at the end of the day, your Minnesota Vikings made just enough plays to come out on top, 27-24. And again, like we said, especially now with Philadelphia losing, it erases all doubt that if the Vikings win out, they're 100% in control of their own destiny for the 1 seed. This is exactly where you want it to be. Going into these next 2 games are going to be a huge test. Green Bay at home and going to Detroit. And, the record may show whatever. Seattle's 8-7, right around 500. But this is a dang good football team that has a lot of talent on both sides of the ball. Again, just a place that the Vikings have struggled to play at since, basically since I've been watching football, and they found a way to get it done. And that's really all that matters. And now it gets really, really fun from here on out.
Yeah. I mean, it gets kind of scary, but fun. Like you said, I mean, you're against a Seattle team that's tough. They're in the playoff picture. You're playing at one of the most difficult places to play in the NFL in Seattle with their 12th man and all that stuff. So it's a tough game. I mean, yeah, there's parts of the game that wasn't pretty. We had some times on offense where we just couldn't really move the ball, specifically in the third quarter. We did allow some big plays on defense, but overall it was going to be a tough game. I think a lot of us knew that. And, the Vikings still come out with the dub with some very clutch plays again, and I've talked about this on multiple occasions, like, it's not just Sam Darnold and our offense coming up in big situations. It's our defense too. It's like they both there's multiple games this season where on both sides of the ball, they come up clutch and getting a turnover or a 3-and-out on defense. And then, of course, on offense, Sam Darnold putting us in position to score or to win or tie the game, whatever. Every opportunity he's had this year. So, I mean, huge. I mean, you got to tip your hat to Sam Darnold in this game, of course, like we have been for most of this season. But before going on here, let me do some shout outs here. We got our guy Gary in the building right away. Skol Mates 13-2. It's crazy to say. Who would have thought? Bleeding Purple in here with the 13-2 as well. Yep. Hey, happy holidays, everybody. You got Christmas around the corner. New Year's right around. Obviously, everybody knows that. But keep on going here to lead the Viking. Let's see who else we got. We got Two Toned in the building. We got Adam in the building, of course, with the hashtag Skols. Again, giving away the JJ McCarthy rookie card, where I'm still team JJ McCarthy going next season. But things are getting dicey out here. People are changing their minds around here. And I'm sticking to my guns. I think the best thing we can do is have JJ McCarthy start next season. But we'll see what happens, especially when playoffs come around here. Who else did I miss here? I think we got everything. Got FT Maddie in the building. Hey, everyone, Skol. Let's go. But anyways, just back to this game. Yeah, man. I mean, great game for us to come in and win. This team, it's annoying to have these little lulls like we do on defense and on offense. But at the end of the day, like, if your team can step up in the biggest moments of the games, which Kevin O'Connell has kind of done ever since he became a head coach, like, that's a recipe for success in playoffs, like playing when everything matters the most. That's what playoffs is all about. So I do feel confident with that. And then just like you said, man, I mean, things are getting interesting over here. I mean, we got Green Bay this week. And then the Lions, I know a lot of us, we want that Lions game to mean something so bad. It's going to be as early of a playoff game as it gets, as far as like you're both could be fighting for the number 1 seed, not just division, but the number 1 seed. And it really comes down to this week. And hopefully, hopefully we beat the Packers. And that way we know it goes to 18. But if we don't, they play Monday Night Football. And then we're kind of Team San Francisco. But hopefully it doesn't come down to that. And I feel confident, honestly, against this beat up Lions team this time around. So,
yeah. And that's.
Hey, Darren. Merry Christmas,
what's
bro.
going on, Darren? What's going on? And of course, Darren's guy, Phil Reichard, just 2 for 2 on field goals in the rain. 52-yarder was literally right down the middle, nailing all of his extra points. There's, everyone who was worried about that guy after he came back from injury.
What up, dude?
Figured out. What's going on, Mark? Thanks for hopping in. But yeah, I mean, it's a fun time to be a Vikings fan, and it's exciting. And of course, Packer game moved to the America's Game of the Week, 3:25. We get Kevin Burkholdt and Tom Brady in the house to call that one. That's going to be awesome. So,
hey, what up, Delton?
It's pretty good. And we have 12 viewers in the house. That feels like plenty to go ahead and drop this so Jamie can show up that one more time.
The old three-peat. The old three-peat.
If anybody sees Smokey in the chat, everyone needs to call him out for not trusting me
and my drafting
process and saying Jamie was going to take it easily, because he did not. And
my guy had my back. I disappointed him. Speaking of that, I'm going to bring it up. So this is our underdogs thing. I got screwed by Jalen Hurts. He got hurt right away. It was good for my fantasy team, though. Ended up here, let me take this off real quick. Ended up playing Jalen Hurts in my main fantasy league, and that was a big thing here. But that one hurt me. I think I would have lost anyways. And Casey's team, Josh Allen didn't do a lot, but he got a ton out of the boy Justin Jefferson, as you can see. And I mean, if you get a chance at Justin Jefferson, it's just tough to lose that way. So,
and of course, Saquon with his 140 and a couple scores. I think was 2 scores. You have 2 touchdowns, just 1.
2 touchdowns, and that was all early too.
It was
early too,
yeah, for sure. So,
but as we're here, we might as well look into some stats as well, just to kind of dive through there. We'll go through some PFF stuff on top of that, but just looking real quick here, we'll start with the Vikes. So Sam Darnold, 22 for 35, 246 yards, 3 touchdowns, and the first quarterback in Vikings history with 12 games with over 100 quarterback rating. Yep. I believe. So, yeah, obviously super ridiculous that Sam Darnold, who was considered a bust, and now he's breaking records for the Vikings, which is insane. Aaron Jones, 18 attempts, 67 yards. Saw a lot of him early on in the game. He was moving the ball pretty good then. Things slowed down a bit. And then receiving, I mean, Justin Jefferson, 13 targets, 10 receptions, 144 yards, 2 touchdowns. What a fucking baller. I mean, we all know this, but it's crazy for him to step up, especially. I mean, we've seen it. The Bills game, this game coming up in huge clutch moments, especially. That's one thing that needs to be talked about more about Justin Jefferson on top of everything else, is he just comes big in the clutch, and he's not even the quarterback. So that's a big deal there. Jordan Addison, seen a lot of him in the first drive. I think all of his yards came in the first drive. 5 receptions, 35 yards, and a touchdown. We didn't see much of him earlier. I know there's a couple plays where he was open, and I know there's that one specific that play specifically where Sam Darnold, the ball was batted down and had Jordan Addison just wide open there, and that would have been probably like at least 15 yards. But keeping on going here, TJ Hawkinson, just a couple, 20 yards here. On defense, you got Blake Cashman with 12 total tackles. You got Byron Murphy Jr., who, again, it keeps making me, shut my mouth a little bit, as far as me kind of saying I didn't really think he's that guy. He's been stepping up. I was really impressed with him in this last game. Yeah, he allowed that 1 touchdown, but he did kind of get screened. I think it was DK. I don't know if it's JSN. I think it was JSN. Yeah, he kind of got screened by one of their players or whatever, and then he got loose. Other than that, like Byron Murphy, I felt like looked really good in this game.
And then he had that really nice play where he kind of shielded I think it was Kenneth Walker on a check down, or was it one of the receivers? He kind of shielded them from the first down and was able to tackle him.
Yeah. I think that was the Tyler Lockett. I think that was
it
Lockett.
Tyler Lockett?
I think so. Yeah. That was a really good play. That was a really good play. Yep. Andrew Van Ginkel with 2 sacks. Obviously, we'll probably have to get into him again, but stud there. A couple of interceptions here, big interceptions. Dallas Turner, the boy, and Theo Jackson. You had like 7 pass defenses. So not a great game by the defense in a lot of ways, but at the same time, like they still stepped up with in coverage, in making big plays, making big sacks when it matters the most. And that's kind of what separates our defense from a lot of defenses this year. Even if we do allow a lot of passing yards. And speaking of that, we did allow 314 yards to Geno Smith, but 2 interceptions. Probably, we could have had 5 interceptions this game, for sure 4, but we probably should have had 5 in this game, but still allowed 3 touchdowns. Run game really stepped up in this one big time. We were a little bit worried about that, and they only ended up having less than 50 yards on the ground. Yeah. I'm surprised they ran Jack Charbonnet just 1 time in this game. But offensively, earlier on, specifically, we let DK kind of do whatever he wanted to us for a bit there. Only 3 receptions, 57 yards, but did have that touchdown. And then JSN, the guy who I was was my biggest concern, and you can kind of see why. 8 receptions, 95 yards, and 1 touchdown. So it was obvious that that's exactly what they were going to do there. So, yeah, anything else on these stats?
No, I guess just one other thing to point out, TJ Hawkinson did only, 2 catches for, I believe it was 27 yards. He did have 2, I guess 1 drop, which probably would have put us in, at least make it, a decision to go for a field goal. After the drop, we punted. And then you had there was one, he was kind of triple covered. Darnold tried to squeeze it in there. He took a big hit. So I'd like to see him have a couple more catches, but both of his catches did go for first downs. So contributed in his own way there. We've only seen 1 really big game from Hawk. I have a feeling a second one's coming, and I think it's going to end up being week 18 against Detroit. So, but still nice to have a guy like Hawkinson on this team. He is kind of like that short check down security blanket type guy. He's going to be fine.
Yeah, which obviously is nice to have. And I think hopefully we just keep seeing him just getting used a little bit more and more in this offense, though, because he's like the last weapon we really got to open up, I feel like. But looking at some PFF stuff real quick, top 5, you got Justin Jefferson, Sam Darnold, Blake Brandel, which is kind of surprised here. Our offensive line did not look great in this game, but maybe it just wasn't him. I know there was one player specifically that I think it kind of was and has been. Trent Sherfield, only 7 total, but and then Dalton Reisner. I'd like to see CJ Ham up here. You got Jordan Addison right here. And then from the bottom up, you got Garrett Bradbury at the bottom, Johnny Munt, Jalen Naylor, TJ Hawkinson, and then Cam Akers. Here you even got Cam Robinson right above him. Trent Sherfield, run blocking 92.9. It is nice having him in the run game. It's really nice to have him on special teams as the gunner as well. And then obviously, these guys speak for themselves at the top here. But going to defense, because I think this is where things get a lot more interesting. And that's the boy Dallas Turner, who did have the interception, and Theo Jackson at the top. But Dallas Turner with getting the most out of his snaps, defense 91.3 with a 93.5 in coverage, which is crazy coming from a guy that most people thought was going to be a pass rush specialist. The only problem I'm having with this is I just don't know how you come in this game, get a pick the way he does, and ends up with just 16 total snaps. I don't know. It's kind of annoying. He gets a sack last week. He gets an interception this week, and it seems like his snaps are like decreasing instead of increasing. As soon as we think things are going to ramp up for him, they don't. So I don't know what's going on with that, but hopefully we do see that happen. And then Theo Jackson obviously comes in here, calls game. Pat Jones, Josh Metellus. Week in and week out, he's sitting at the top of these PFF grades. Guy's a stud. Getting to see a little bit of LDR in this game, which is always fun to watch, and him taking advantage of his limited snaps. Shaq Griffin had a really good game. Should have had an interception. Of course, we talked about Andrew Van Ginkel, Byron Murphy, Grenard, always studs. Coming from the bottom, you got Bobby McCain, Blake Cashman. Surprised to see him down here. But Jerry Tillery, Harrison Phillips. and Stephon Gilmore. I thought Stephon Gilmore maybe would be more towards the bottom, to be honest. But yeah, PFF grades. But what are y'all saying in here? Offense with those 3 and outs wasn't helping. Yeah, 100%. They had to leave Hockett a lot, help the block. Yeah, never ever has an NFL ever had 1 seed game the last game of the year. Not to mention, never has it involved the division. Yeah, dude, that is it's going, and we're 1 game away.
But obviously,
we got a tough team ahead. But
Kevin O'Connell said you can't win 2 games till you win 1. You can't go 2-0 till you go 1-0. So they're focused. They're focused on. I mean, the fans can talk all we want, but they're 100% focused on Green Bay before they even think about the 1.
KFC on the jet is we have to be smart about the direction in which we gritty. I didn't hear that.
O'Connell, man, if you listen to the way he talks about the officiating, he has little subtle one-liners that aren't going to get him fine.
They need it. Plays the playoffs. We were saving Hawkins. And yeah, I mean, hey, if we just start using by the way, Dan, we start using Hawk a lot during playoffs, like nobody's going to expect it. I know there's messages coming from Brian Flores, like he has something dialed in for playoffs that's going to be different. And I'm hoping it just throws everybody off. Sherfield is wide receiver 3. I mean, at this point, I don't see why not.
I mean, we talked about it a couple weeks ago. I mean,
at least he can block, you know.
He can block. He makes big plays when he's in there. I mean, he contributes on special teams as well, which always gets you there. And just Naylor outside those first couple weeks has just kind of been a no-show. So I wouldn't mind seeing Sherfield get more reps in there.
Dude, 100%. Let's keep on moving here. For some reason, none of the hashtag Skulls got in there. So again, everybody giving away the JJ McCarthy rookie card. Get the hashtag Skulls in the comments. All those good things. Like the video, subscribe if you haven't already. Yeah, definitely get them likes in. How many people we got in here? 16 people, 8 likes. Let's get those in here. Let's get those.
You guys, come on. It's easy.
Yeah, come on.
Hit the like button. That's all you got to do.
Appreciate it big time. Keep on going here into our winners and losers from this game, starting with our losers, as we always do after a W. And there's not a ton of them here, and that starts with Garrett Bradbury. When I showed those PFF grades, he was sitting there at the bottom for our team as far as offensive goes. I saw a couple plays where he did get blown up quite a bit. And just this was a game where it was like, especially in the first half, we have him every single week. And I know when Riley, right? Riley's in here. When
Nick Riley.
Yeah. Whenever he's in here, he always like, oh, another week, another offensive line. And man, there's just some holes there. And Sam Darnold was getting pressured a lot in this game. Obviously, and this is something, it's just the reality of it, right? Like, this is just what our offensive line is. They're going to be good at times. We got some good tackles, but it's still going to be a hole in this offense going into playoffs. And you can say the same thing about this defense in allowing so many passing yards and letting people get into the red zone, even if we step up in that area a lot and get a lot of takeaways and still get quite a bit of sacks and hurries on top of that. But what's your thought of Garrett Bradbury and just the offensive line as a whole?
Yeah, and I mean, and you kind of already gave. I mean, I guess let's just get into it, right? I mean, because you kind of already gave away our other dud too, which was Stephon Gilmore and the defense in general giving up those big chunk plays. And I think we talked about it on Bleacher Report last night that, like, at this point in the season, I know a couple weeks ago we had talked about things you got to clean up, things you got to fix. At this point, I think the offensive line and the defense giving up those chunk plays middle of the game and tightening up in the red zone, all that type of stuff. I think that just kind of is what this team is right now. Like, you're 15 weeks into you're 15 games into the season, 16 weeks into the season. At this point, you're not going to be able to fix those things. I mean, obviously you can't bring players in. You kind of are who you are. You're not going to change up a lot schematically. So, like, I think it's just something this team, Kevin O'Connell and Brian Flores, are just going to have to, and they have been, learn how to deal with, learn how to still find ways to win because of, the offensive line. Like, I mean, because it's becoming a trend. We have offensive line and then some sort of defense giving up big chunk plays every week. So it's not going to get better. It's just, they just need to figure out how they can kind of, make it work with those issues on this team, which, I mean, they are issues, right? And the offensive line, like, Sam Darnold, yes, he had some nice clean pockets to be able to step up, but there were a lot of times where he was pressured. I mean, a couple times where, I think there's one play where Sanchez called him out for you got to get rid of the ball quicker, where he literally took the snap and before he could even, get a chance to look downfield. He's already trying to roll out, ended up taking a sack from former Gopher Boye Mafe. So it's just, I don't know, the offensive line, it's going to continue to be a concern. And I guess it's just up to O'Connell to, mitigate it the best he can, and kind of the same thing on the defense with giving up those chunk plays. And I mean, on defense, at least we mitigate it by, for the most part, really hammering down in the red zone and not, allowing field goals instead of touchdowns, and just finding a way to get those 1 or 2 turnovers per game. So again, issues that aren't like, there's no way to fix them at this point. But we've been doing a good enough job to where we still have found a way to win 13 games, but it's going to be tested these next 2. I mean, it was tested this time around against a very talented offense and defense of the Seahawks, and it's going to be tested again against the Packers and Lions in the coming weeks here. So disappointing to see, but again, it's like, you're not, at this point of the year, you're not going to find any ways to fix it necessarily.
Yeah, and Gilmore was just getting beat in this game. DK had him good. I mean, there's a few times in this one, and like you said, like we're just giving up those big chunk plays. This last week, we've been really good in the red zone. This past week, they were able to kind of score on us when they got there. There's the one touchdown at the end for them where we almost held them. I think it was 4th down, or was it 4th down that they finally scored?
I think it was 3rd down. They would have kicked the field goal at that point. But I mean, they didn't really give us a great angle of that touch. I mean, I don't know. You could have argued that touchdown wasn't necessarily a catch. I mean, again, I think he may have gotten his hand underneath it, but I thought I saw that ball move a little bit too much. And another one that the refs didn't really catch is that the fake punt. They never showed a replay, and I'm not 100% convinced that. I
know the guy made it past. Yeah.
I'm not 100% convinced, and we never.
I'm surprised they didn't. No.
Yeah.
The ball placement on that one felt kind of whack, but whatever. We got the W. But like you said, like hopefully we get this defense figured out. I already talked about how good the run game was in that one, or the run defense was in that one. They didn't go to their run game a lot. It was obvious what they knew to do to beat us, which is kind of nickel and dime us down the field, which I think we knew that. I was surprised we didn't see the run game as much, but we were stopping it early and often. Like we weren't really letting them get anywhere, and that was probably a big reason why. So obviously I would say, I mean, that part's a plus. But overall, like, I mean, it's a win. I mean, there wasn't, I mean, you could, for duds, you probably could put just like these lulls on offense in general that kind of come from the offensive line. It feels like at times. And then same on defense, like, it's just the same thing every single week. It is what it is, but we're winning games because of what our strengths are. And speaking of strengths,
and obviously we'll get into this more later, but yeah, we weren't getting home in the first half. Ging said Flo made some adjustments, which
Barber?
At the end, they were sending Metellus on some kind of delayed blitzes and stuff, which did allow us to get a little bit of pressure. Jahad Ward did get home on that interception as well. I mean, forced Gino to make that throw in the game-sealing interception as well. So, yeah, I mean, Flo did make adjustments. But, yeah, I mean, the fact that we're not able to get after the passer early, it is definitely concerning.
We just can't get home.
We just have to learn how to work around. Yeah, exactly. And Bradley,
which is just annoying.
Thanks for hopping in.
Hey, welcome in.
Next week. They can rest their starters week 18. Game will not matter. I think if we lose to the Packers, the Packers might have if we lose out, the Packers win out tonight plus the next 2. I think they might actually overtake us for the 5th seed. So
FT Maddie, I appreciate you.
Hey, yeah, thanks for the $10, Maddie. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Yeah, I don't know how many losses does the Packers have?
4.
They have 4 losses. We have 2. Yep. So if we lose to them,
or maybe we might have.
I don't know. I think we might. We might get them, but that's the thing. If the main thing is if we do lose to the Packers, we need the 49ers to beat the Lions.
Right. Yeah.
Hey, Mark. Hey, appreciate you guys. Early Christmas here. I mean, it's right around literally this week though. Appreciate you. And we're still. I mean, we're gonna be on Thursday. We're still here doing our thing. For sure. But hey, thank you guys so much for helping us out like that. Big time.
Absolutely. Appreciate you guys being in here twice a week to listen to us talk
about how good the fucking Vikings are this year. I mean, it's crazy, man. I mean, overall you're good. I do think we're going to have a whole show on the Packer game. We're probably going to talk about it a little bit later in this show, but let's keep on moving here because we need to talk about how good this offense has been and Sam Darnold has been in the clutch. Sam Darnold, man, I mean, plays another good game, has kind of an off one last week, bounces back again in this one. and even with kind of an offensive line that wasn't helping them early. And just the biggest thing, man, that one throw was just in the biggest moment in the game. Like you don't even, what I love about it is like, you don't even like let it, like you're not just nickeling, diming down the field. You're not like waiting to get into the red zone. This is like, that's a Kirk Cousins. Like when Kirk Cousins needs to come make some points, like you're getting to like the 10-yard line or whatever. And then Sam Darnold's like, no, in 3 plays, I'm going to score a touchdown on you. And that is super relieving to me because that was like the biggest thing for me in Kirk Cousins was just the little short passes all the time. And you just love a guy who's willing to just trust a guy like Justin Jefferson in that situation and throw the ball up to like, I mean, you don't like the no momentum. It's just like all that momentum just out the stadium within 1 minute on offense. And you got to love to see that quick of a turnaround when you get behind.
Right. And a lot happened on that drive. Right. So he started off at one point. I think because that was the same drive, the communication in his helmet went out. So the last thing that Darnold heard was the formation. And Darnold basically went up to the line and just said, I just basically, I knew the formation we were going to get. And I just had to call a play that everybody was going to know. That led to him being able to get the scramble and get that first down. Then there's the play we finally get the face mask call. One that I love Byron Murphy the second. I wish we would have been able to find a way to draft him, but he said that face mask call was BS. Clear as day face mask. But on that play, that's Darnold crazy. Gets hit. His ankle gets trapped under him. He's limping. He took him an extra couple seconds to get up to his feet. Next play, scrambles around in the pocket, kind of a one-footed dart down the field to Justin Jefferson. And I mean, just that drive was just everything that you love to see about Sam Darnold. And you can just tell, like, when he came into the season, we're all just like, how's he going to fit? No one really knew of the aura of Sam Darnold, but I don't know, man, this team really, you can tell this team really follows him, respects him, and loves him as their leader this season. And it's just great to see. It's great to see him embracing that role of being this team's leader and going out and just making plays when he needs to. I mean, Sam Darnold's tough as nails, man. He's had a couple plays where he's taken some beatings, and especially this game. And not to mention on that touchdown throw, Kevin O'Connell even talked about it today. He took a huge hit after he released that ball. So that drive was just everything that you love to see about the new Sam Darnold, right? Just from improvisation of calling a play and that play turning into a run, taking a big hit, hurting his ankle, but still getting up and basically winning us the football game, him and Justin Jefferson. I don't know, man. It's a magical season for Darnold, and obviously the discourse about what happens next year, but no matter where it is, Darnold's going to be making some money, and good for him. He deserves it.
Yeah. I mean, at this point, it doesn't even matter how he does in playoffs as far as how much money he makes.
Right. For sure. He's going to get paid regardless, but the playoffs are just going to be the cherry on top.
It'll be interesting. Right? It'll be interesting. We're getting, and this is it. I mean, from here on out, man, it's basically playoffs.
It is. Absolutely.
Like 100%. You're playing 2 playoff teams back to back. With a chance, so it should be interesting.
Chance to get a bye week. Like that's what this is all about.
We got an early playoff season starting this week. Like shit gets real now. And well, after we finish this, after we finish like the studs and duds, then shit gets real. But keeping on going here, because obviously, I mean, Sam Darnold's been incredible all year, and just the most impressive thing about him is how confident he has been in the clutch, and really I can't even think of one moment where he wasn't clutch all year. Not one moment, even the ones where we lost. Like he got the face mask, and the second against the Lions, he did put us in position. We were winning that game. And then honestly, to me, that was more Kevin O'Connell running the ball instead of like going and trying to win the game and letting Dan Campbell do his thing on you. So, but anyways, keep on going here. Talking about good players and the best wide receiver in the league, arguably probably the best non-quarterback in the NFL. Shit, you might even say the best player in the NFL right now is Justin Jefferson. Absolutely insane. And I talked about it earlier, is like we're talking about how Sam Darnold's so clutch, and Justin Jefferson is, as a wide receiver, is insanely clutch. And I talked about that Buffalo play, which is an all-time clutch play. Leading purple
with the 50 bomb.
50. Hey, thank you so much, dude, for real. Really we appreciate you, man.
50 burger. Hell yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, dude, appreciate you so much. I think we need to get that first. I don't want to play a playoff team, then another right after. Yeah, I'm hoping Yeah, I know. We need like that first will be nice because we're going to be playing two. Hey, what's going on, Nick P? I wouldn't say best player in the NFL side of quarterback. Ooh, whoa, Nick P, that's crazy. Saquon was like a nobody for like 3 seasons. That's crazy. Justin Jefferson has the most receiving yards ever to start his career, and you're talking about a guy that probably had 1,000 yards within 3 seasons of his prime. I don't know about that.
Saquon's pretty
Saquon, I'm not saying he's bad, but you're comparing him to Justin Jefferson, an all-time great, like gonna end up being a top 5 wide receiver ever. I mean, Saquon's good. Don't get me wrong. I like Saquon. He's doing really good this year. He has a really good team around him.
Fantasy team, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, I do remember before the season started, there were some guys that don't draft Justin Jefferson early. He's going to prove that he's not quarterback proof. Well, yeah, he's quarterback proof.
Yeah, he is. I mean, yeah.
But anyway, go on. Sorry, you were saying
exactly. That's a great point. Saquon he's not team proof. I mean, last year I guess he played well for the Giants. Actually, he had a bounce back year last year, but he went to a Eagles team that is arguably the most well-rounded team in the NFL. I actually would call them the most well-rounded team in the NFL. So I mean, he's got a lot of playmakers there. When Jalen Hurts is healthy. But anyways, Justin Jefferson, super stud. We already know 2,000 yard season income. I think Jefferson best wide receiver, but Saquon is top guy outside of quarterback right now.
I mean, Saquon's definitely going to be offensive player of the year if he doesn't win MVP, which unfortunately he probably won't. But
he won't. I don't know. I guess you could say this year in general, but I don't know, man. That's a tough one for me. Hey, what up, Too Evil?
What's going on, man?
But no, he's a stud. He's a stud. Keep on going, though. Actually, I do want to just talk about Jordan Addison again here. I know we missed him for like most of the second half, but what a stud Jordan Addison is. He just gets so open. His routes are just so crisp and clean. And, man, that's one thing with Justin Jefferson this game. I mean, you come in here, man, you guys are bringing Christmas. I always forget that even Christmas is in a couple days. Too Evil, thank you so much, dude. Appreciate it.
We appreciate the viewership.
Hey, and of course, giving away the JJ McCarthy rookie card. So get the hashtag Skols in the comments, like the video, and subscribe. We got 23 people in here, only 13 likes. So get some likes in here for us. But get hashtag Skol for your chance to win this JJ McCarthy rookie card. But I was just going to say with Jordan Addison, you use him a lot early. And again, that's going to open up everything for Justin Jefferson. And that is exactly what happened. We came in here, ran the ball a lot, used Jordan Addison a lot. Justin Jefferson has arguably his best game of the season. Stud.
Yeah. Stud. And it's just, and look, that Bears game was the turning point, right? Jefferson, 2 catches, 27 yards. Addison Hawkinson went off. Ever since then, and after the game, I mean, and I believe right after that game on Bleacher Report, and the following Monday, we talked about it on here, basically saying we felt like eventually Jefferson was going to have a couple of those huge games. And he had, so far since then, he has had 2 of those, a 3-touchdown game against Atlanta, and then this one here, 144 and 2 touchdowns. And just Jordan Addison and Sam Darnold finally getting that connection, and Addison breaking out a couple games is really what's led to defenses not being able to triple cover JJ anymore. And now we're finally seeing the fruits of that. And going back and Addison basically missed 3 games this season, hurt his ankle in, early on in training camp, which did affect him and Darnold's chemistry, and gets hurt in that first game, misses most of that, misses the next 2. He's missed almost 3 games, and yet he's 200 yards and 2 touchdowns away from a 1,000 yard season and 10 touchdowns. How insane is that? And he had 10 touchdowns last year too, right?
Yeah, he did.
I think he just missed 1,000 yards, but had 10 touchdowns last year.
As far as, I mean, he's probably even had as far as not this past week, but the week before, I don't know. But he was the 3rd. I think he has the 4th most touchdowns for a player under the age of 23.
Yeah, I think I saw
something
that too.
Like that. Yeah. 3rd or 4th most touchdowns for a player under the age of 23, which is absolutely insane. That's crazy. You're talking about, that's a huge deal. I think the Eagles have the 2nd best roster, but currently the best with all the Lions injuries. Yeah, with all the Lions, if the Lions don't have 22, yeah, that's kind of why I said the Eagles was mostly because of all the injuries the Lions are dealing with.
Yeah, and you're right here. I mean, on both sides of the ball as well, interior. And Nick, I can't tell by the comments, are you Vikings fan or who's your team? I'm curious.
Me too. How good would it be? Also, a good wide receiver. Yeah. I know. I think we're gonna have to go grab. I mean, there's gonna be some wide receivers this offseason or in free agency. Deontay Johnson, that would have been an interesting one, huh? He's out there. I mean, I wouldn't mind going and snagging him up.
I was just thinking of someone else earlier today, a receiver we could grab, and I
Nick's a
can't
Vikes
remember
fan.
who I was thinking of. Oh, okay. Good to know. But yeah. Anyway, Justin Jefferson,
a non-biased Viking fan. What the fuck, dude?
We only want pure bias in here. I'm kidding.
Yeah. But yeah. What was I just talking about?
We were talking about Addison and just how good he is, and just how good this team is with two absolutely elite receivers.
Deontay Johnson.
Yeah, it'd be nice. Yeah, this team needs to go out and get a legitimate wide receiver 3. I mean, like you kind of said before the season, we draft these guys, we try to make it work, and it just unfortunately it just doesn't. So, I'm Odell outside of like one season and one play.
I mean, at this point, anybody would help more than freaking than Jalen Naylor at this point.
Like, what's he actually done? What has Odell actually done outside of the catch and like that 1 or 2 seasons where he was really good for the Giants? Like outside of that, he hasn't really like
stepped up. There's going to be a lot of them though.
Then was the one with the Rams where he tore his ACL in the Super Bowl.
I mean, I'd still like. Hopefully, I don't know. I mean, Dallas Turner stud. We'll see. Actually, let's keep on moving here though. We're stuck on Justin Jefferson, but hey, he deserves it because this guy's a monster. But we do got to talk about we put Turner and Jackson on here. Dallas Turner, man,
interesting.
D Johnson claim. Oh wow, I didn't see that.
They need it.
Oh, because of Tank Dell. Yeah,
oh my god, that was brutal, man.
Right. Turner jumps the route, looking like a cornerback there for a second, and he's your, he's not like he's more of like he's like an Andrew Van Ginkel Grenard like hybrid, right? He's like a bigger, he's not like as small as Andrew Van Ginkel as far as like playing coverage and things like that, but he is we kind of drafted him as like a prototypical 4-3 outside linebacker, so that's why we do see him in coverage and stuff. But to see him being able to jump routes like that and get interceptions was huge there. And obviously, I said it earlier, he needs some more playing time. I just don't see how he only ends up with 16 snaps after that. And then of course Theo Jackson, who arguably, I think Kevin O'Connell said it today that he's had one of the best training camps he's ever seen. And we haven't seen a lot of him. It hasn't really lived up to that this season or even in the preseason, but he comes up and calls game in this one, in place of Harrison Smith. So that's a good, interesting thing. Without Harrison Smith, Theo Jackson steps up and gets the game-winning interception. I talked about it earlier, clutch on both sides of the ball. That wasn't the first time this season that something like that happened. But yeah, it was really nice to see them guys step up and get interceptions from two. I mean, we're getting turnovers and takeaways from everybody on this team, man, and it's special to see.
I mean, and Dallas Turner, right? Everyone, and we'll talk more about him in a bit here. Everyone kind of labeled Turner.
What up, Dylan? By the way,
the last 3 weeks he's made plays. I mean, against the Falcons, the Falcons were easily moving the ball down the field. He gets that big hit on Kirk Cousins, and the game changes after that. Last week, that super sick sack on Caleb Williams, and then this week he gets the interception. He's starting to pop every week now, so you can just tell. Like, and that's the thing we wanted to tell people: like, don't get Lewis-Cine syndrome with this. Just because he's not playing, don't be thinking like, oh god, he's a bust. Like, no, he's just fine. Like, he's developing. I think he's been learning. It's a more complex defense than he was used to at Alabama. They're asking him to do a lot more. He's just kind of growing into it, and now we're finally starting to see the fruits of that. And Theo Jackson, like next year, we might need him to be a stud because Harrison Smith, it's figured this may be his last season, and he might retire after this season. Cam Bynum, there's questions on whether or not we bring him back. Darren Wolfson thinks that we don't, so we might need Theo Jackson to play a big role. And I think, like Dylan said earlier, we don't have him on here, but Josh Metellus is one of those underappreciated. I mean, he's not really even underappreciated. Maybe by outside of the Vikings fan base.
Not us.
He does so much on a defense, and he pops in every position he plays at. I mean, he got a pressure yesterday, so it's just like we might need Theo Jackson and Josh Metellus to be our safeties next year, and at least hold down the fort for the next 2 or 3 years till you draft Coy Parrots in the first round.
I mean, that's only if you extend Sam Darnold, then we'd have to do that. But if you don't extend Sam Darnold, we probably could get a stud at safety and then have Metellus move everywhere on the field.
Wolfson just doesn't see us bringing back Bynum. So I mean,
he does. Theo Jackson, he doesn't.
He said he doesn't, but it's just kind of. But Theo Jackson and Josh Metellus, man, like those guys, they're going to be needed next year for sure. I think Josh Metellus, I don't know if he has 1 year left or if his deal's up. But either way, you got to find a way to bring him back. But yeah, man, these two guys who, and like you mentioned, Theo Jackson filling in for Harrison Smith, calls game. Turner gets us a field goal early on, which ended up, not the difference in the game, but 3-point difference there. So huge plays by the two young guys on this team. When you needed them most, they stepped up and got things done. So love to see it.
I would say with this one, so either commit or risk or better. That's the thing with this is if you don't like JJ, and I know Thor mentioned this earlier in a tweet, is reality is JJ doesn't even need to be better than Sam Darnold because with his contract, you're saving $40 million a year. I mean, his team is just going to be better in general. Like he doesn't even have to, I'm not saying that he isn't going to be as good as Sam Darnold or anything. He could be. I mean, you drafted him top 10 for a reason. He has all the tools you could want.
Absolutely.
So, and Kevin, I mean, nobody in the whole world was like, Sam Darnold's going to be this guy that, like, the fact that we're even talking about, can JJ be as good as Sam Darnold is kind of wild compared to what everybody would have thought before the season started.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And that a lot of that has to do with Kevin O'Connell. I do think Kevin O'Connell can make that happen with JJ, and JJ will have a lot more around him. So, I mean, but that being said, like next year, if we were to roll with JJ, like he doesn't have to be Sam Darnold level. The good thing with JJ is like what you mostly would need from him is you just want him to be able to come up big when it matters, and JJ is known for that. Just like
I would
Sam
almost
Darnold
say you kind of want him to be this year's Bo Nix. Just a guy that comes in,
would be
operates
great.
the offense, gets rid of the football, and does make some plays. Like that's kind of all you would need him to do. Is just operate
and
the
that
offense
would be huge.
He grows into just learning that next level of quarterbacking. So it'll be interesting. There's going to be time to talk about that after the season.
Yeah. We'll keep on going because that's going to be a conversation that's going to be popping up every single week. So we don't want to spend too much time on it because we're going to lose track of time.
Exactly. A lot of content covering the Vikings.
Justin Jefferson, aka Andrew Van Ginkel. Andrew Van Ginkel. So here, I think I do have. Oh no, I just totally messed that up. So this was for Andrew Van Ginkel. We have Justin Jefferson here, but Andrew Van Ginkel, obvious super stud, 11 sacks on the season, which is insane. And I mean, triple, quadruple, 10 times down. This dude should be Defensive Player of the Year. He's probably not going to get the respect, but the fact that this guy has 11 sacks, 2 pick sixes. He was leading tackles for the loss the last time we talked about this. I mean, he's an absolute stud, man. I mean, big sacks, huge sacks. But 11 sacks from this guy. I mean, that is insane. I mean, he's at the top of the league in just that by itself. Yeah, and not to mention, I mean, he has a high grade. His grade and coverage has been really good all season. And then Andrew Van Ginkel's a stud, man.
And then people wonder why Dallas Turner doesn't get more playing time. It's literally because your free agent class of Van Ginkel and Grenard have 22 sacks between the two of them, 11 each. Like that's why Dallas Turner doesn't need to play as much as people want to see him play. Like it's insane. And I mean, look, I really hope that he's not just a Flores guy. Like I hope that they find a way to keep him around for a couple more seasons. Because I mean, him and Grenard, just one of the better edge rushing duos in the league. And just think, if you could. And I know we'll talk about Too Evil. Yes, we'll talk about it for next year and talk about next year again here. If you can get them some help up the middle from a pass rush perspective, watch out, man. Those two could wreak havoc for years to come.
That's what I'm saying, dude.
So love to see Van Ginkel. I mean, again, just not even an underrated signing at this point. Like, just what a free agent class. Say what you will about Kwesi's drafting. What a free agent class that Kwesi has brought in here, man.
Like, Van Ginkel I had big hopes for Van. Absolute. Hey, what up, Berserk? I had huge hopes for Andrew Van. Like I thought, like, just based off of all the Miami fans, what they were saying about him, I was really excited for him. Yeah, Dolphins should have kept Gink. But man, every single one of them, Grenard, him, and Cashman, literally blowing. I mean, I mean, when we talk about free agents, we do forget to say Sam Darnold.
Shaq Griffin.
And
Shaq Griffin.
And Shaq Griffin. Yeah, and Shaq Griffin. Gilmore. Been up and down, but yeah, I mean, studs. Everybody's like blowing.
What does it say again? Hey, there it is.
I ain't saying it. I ain't saying it.
3
kind of
weeks
lame,
in a row, baby.
This sure sucks in multiple ways. Anyways, keep on going here. Andrew Van Ginkel, super stud. And talking about studs, we brought this up. This is for you, Darren. Special teams, and this isn't just Will Reichard, but it is about Will Reichard because he hit both his field goals, both of his extra points. He had that leg injury. I mean, I think it's easy for us to say at this point, like that was the reason why he was missing those kicks or whatever. But he's been just on as can be since his last miss. And then not just him, man. Ryan Wright with an absolute bomb of a punt. Probably the best punt I've ever seen from Ryan Wright in this game. And he was looking good there. And then not just him, I brought up Sherfield as well. And he had a really nice gunner play at one point in this game too. So special teams overall really stepped up. Yeah, I mean, I guess the only thing you could say as a negative is we weren't able to stop that. Well, which I won't even say completely negative because we should have stopped that.
Did stop that
or whatever. We did stop. They didn't even check it. Actually, it was crazy. But special teams stepping up.
Yeah, I mean, Will Reichard, again, if anybody had any concerns about him after, the first missed field goal when he got back, I mean, those are all gone now. The dude is absolutely automatic. And Ryan Wright, 6 punts, 4 inside the 20, 300 net yards. 300 yards of punts on six punts, averaging 50 yards a boot. Like, that's insane. Absolutely insane. Ryan Wright, after a down season last year, is definitely turned it around again this year. You absolutely love to see it.
And speaking, we didn't even talk about. I was going to say it earlier, but there's a chance. We're talking about Metellus, and it'll be. He's been kind of playing a lot of the role, like the middle linebacker kind of role, kind of like the IVJ or IPJ role, the Ivan Pace Jr. role. With Ivan Pace Jr. potentially coming back this week, and I feel like he's going to. Hopefully, it'll be interesting to see what impact he brings back to this team, especially because he's kind of the guy who comes in like a missile from the interior defense,
right?
And it has been something we've been missing since he's been hurt.
Yeah, and I think that having him in allows Flores to do more with Blake Cashman because you can trust that Ivan Pace is going to kind of command that line of scrimmage and make tackles in the run game and get after the quarterback in the pass game, and he can be a spy as well. So I think it's going to take it's going to take more responsibility off of Cashman at the line of scrimmage where he can kind of drop back into coverage and do what Cashman does best out there. So yeah, it's gonna be great getting Ivan Pace back. Hopefully, like you said, hopefully this week. I know obviously Kevin O'Connell said they're opening the practice window, but wouldn't commit just because of how tricky hamstring injuries can be. But I'm sure we'll have more for you guys on Thursday when we.
Yeah. Well, I mean, hopefully we have a whole section just about him because I want him. I can't wait for him to get back. Hey, what up, De Niro? And of course, everybody giving away the JJ McCarthy rookie card. So get the hashtag Skols in the comments, like the video, and subscribe if you haven't already. All that good stuff. But keeping on going here. That was all we had for studs and duds in this game. Like we talked about, we had Bradbury and Gilmore for the duds, and then for studs, we had Sam Darnold, Justin Jefferson, Dallas Turner, and Theo Jackson, I almost said it again, Andrew Van Ginkel, and special teams.
And honorable mention, Josh Metellus. We didn't really have a slide for, but he could be on this every week just because of all he does for this defense.
And now we got the gauntlet. We each get 30 seconds for each one of these topics here. And yeah, we just gotta not mess up. We can't go over on this one.
Yeah.
This one, we're not going over on this one. I'm only pressing this button one time. Let me know when you're ready.
You're not going over on this one.
I'm not. Nope.
30 seconds. I forget I said that. Anyway, okay, I'm ready.
All right, 3, 2, 1, go.
I mean, my game ball, as it does most weeks, I got to give it to Sam Darnold. 22 of 35, 246, 3 touchdowns. Again, no interceptions. And really, the only one interception he's had since that Jacksonville game was just kind of a toss-up, basically almost a punt. But, I mean, Sam Darnold, man, when you need him to step up, he steps up. He's efficient with the football. He's making big plays downfield. There's none of those turnover-worthy plays that we're used to seeing, that people were used to seeing with Darnold before the season. He's coming on at the right time of year, man. Sam Darnold gets my game ball 100%.
For me, I mean, obviously it's easy to go with Sam Darnold here, but I gotta go with Old Faithful, and that is the best non-quarterback in the NFL, and Justin Jefferson, 144 yards, 2 touchdowns, absolutely insane in this game. And Sam Darnold gets a ton of credit for that play. I mean, he stepped up in the pocket, he threw with pressure in his face, but Justin Jefferson being able to always get open is just ridiculous. And that's all I got.
All right, I'll go quick. Biggest loser, mine has to, I think, normally I go with offensive line. I'm going to go Stephon Gilmore this game. I mean, obviously coming back from a hamstring injury, that had something to do with it, but I believe he had two pass interference calls? I know it was one that extended a drive. Obviously we knew it coming into this year that he's a little long in the tooth, not as quick as he used to be. Obviously he's not that all pro corner guy, but this had a couple bad reps in this game for sure.
Yeah, that's kind of the one I was thinking, but it's easy enough to go with the offensive line here, specifically Garrett Bradbury. I mean, I showed you he had like a 20 pass blocking grade, which is terrible. And just letting plays come in for Sam Darnold, getting pressured constantly, it does suck. It is nice. And I do think I kind of blame a lot of that on like the lulls that we do have and the 3-and-outs that we do have. I mean, that's one thing with Sam Darnold that's been really unfortunate this year is getting sacked in the worst times.
Yeah. Speaking of Sam Darnold becoming just the clutchest quarterback in the league. I mean, look, when you need Sam Darnold to make a play, he's going to go out and make the play. He's done it multiple times since that Jacksonville game. I mean, you look at the Arizona game, the Atlanta game, and I think a lot of this does need to go to Kevin O'Connell as well, because Kirk Cousins in 2022 had the most comebacks he's ever had. So I mean, for the pro JJ McCarthy anti-resigning Darnold crowd, that's a big thing. But it doesn't matter how good the coach is, the quarterback still needs to go and execute. And Darnold's done that.
Yeah, dude, over and over and over again. And, anybody who watches us, they know I'm team JJ McCarthy going into next season. It has nothing to do with Sam Darnold. If we did not have JJ McCarthy, I probably would be leaning towards the Darnold thing, even though I know there is that money thing, because I think Darnold is just a good quarterback. And I do think there's a good chance he goes to another team and he plays well. It's just the way he's confident and that's what makes a big difference to quarterbacks in my eyes is clutch in big moments.
Yep. Dallas Turnering a corner. As we mentioned when we talked about him in the studs, I mean, look, a couple weeks ago, Flores said he kind of had that sit down talk with him, just how to use his time effectively, make sure he wasn't hitting the rookie wall. And since we heard about that, 3 weeks in a row, he's made splash plays. Like I said, the hit on Kirk Cousins, the sack last week, and then the interception this game. Look, complex defense he's trying to learn here under Flores. And I think that's what's kind of slowed him getting a lot of playing time. But every week now, he's making a huge play.
Yeah. And I mean, I've talked about it a bunch on here. Like that, first off, I've said it earlier, that interception was super athletic. It's generally something you see from like a corner or safety, not from, a 4-3 outside linebacker, or that's basically an edge, might even be an edge rusher on a 4-3 team. But the big thing is 16 snaps after a play like that. I'm just surprised he's not getting more time. I think he deserves some more time. So I'm really hoping that Brian Flores lets him flourish.
Yeah. Kevin O'Connell game ball. So as we all know, the Kevin O'Connell post-game locker room speeches are kind of becoming stuff of legend. They talked about it on the Fox pregame show. I see there's a Chiefs fan that covers them every week. And this week, kind of special, Kevin O'Connell did get a game ball from the team. And look, like, obviously we all want to win Coach of the Year, and that's, the national media and the voters and stuff. That's cool. But the number one thing that matters for a coach is that everybody in your locker room buys in. And this entire locker room has bought into Kevin O'Connell. And that's the most important thing.
And that's why we love Kevin O'Connell. We've said that we thought he was a great coach. I mean, there's some fans out there they're not Kevin O'Connell people. They just don't like Kevin O'Connell. And I'm like, how? He has one of the best records ever for his first 3 NFL seasons. But you're talking about his post-game speeches and stuff like that. And man, this team's good on, every aspect, but man, they've got some sauce. You've got the Kevin O'Connell, post-game speeches, and then you got the defensive celebrations, man. You got to love to see it.
Yeah. And Kevin O'Connell lets him do it too. That's what I love. He loves his guy. He wants his guys to have fun out there. So early predictions. It's going to be a tough game against the Packers. But I think if Jair Alexander plays or whether he doesn't, I don't know. What Jefferson did today, do it again. Over 140 yards. I think at least 1 touchdown. Offense is going to absolutely go off. Yeah. Sensing a win. I'm feeling a win. It's gonna be tough though. It's gonna be tough, but I'm feeling this team gets it done.
Yeah. So far, I mean, we're the better team. I mean, we went into Lambeau and embarrassed them the first half. The second half, obviously, things got closer than it should have, but we embarrassed them the first half in Lambeau. I do think we're just the better team. I'm not scared of their wide receivers. Josh Jacobs has been good, but our run defense, we stopped him last time. I'm not too afraid over there. And Jerry Alexander, I hope he does play because Jordan, at the very least, Jordan Addison is gonna punk his ass, and then like you said, Justin Jefferson, man. Yeah. So, I mean, if I was gonna just give like some early score predictions, like the early ones for this week, I'm gonna say we win. I don't think it's gonna be that close. I think it's gonna be one of those. I don't think it's gonna be either we end up losing this game or we win by like 10 points. I don't see us winning by a field goal in this one for whatever reason. So I'm going to say we win 31-21. Ooh, that's my initial one. I don't know if I'm going to live with that throughout the week. We'll find out. Maybe we'll see how maybe the Packers, suck super bad tonight and look like fucking frauds. Yeah. And if that happens, I'm coming in here with the 31-6 or something like that. So we'll find out.
I'm feeling like 31-23. 31-23. Win by 8 points. It's kind of what I'm feeling.
Hey, what up, Angel?
But it's either way, it's gonna be a fun one. I kind of want to go back to O'Connell for a second here. Because
I hope so.
Because after before the season, they said there was really no talks about an extension. I think the Wilfs, from a money perspective, are definitely gonna come to regret that by the end of the season. Because if things keep going the way they do now, and Kevin O'Connell gets us into the playoffs and we make a run, Super Bowl or not, the dude's going to make some money. And I mean, they probably could have gotten him, under 10 million last year, but this year, because I think he's finally starting to get that national recognition. He's going to get coach of the year. The players on this team obviously love him. So I don't know, man. I think they're going to have to pay Kevin O'Connell a lot of money next year.
Yeah, pay him. Not even a question.
Right. They're going to have to extend him, but I bet you they're going to wish that they'd have done it last year. Probably have been a lot easier on the pocketbooks. But also, I do kind of like that. Like, you made him.
Who cares? They got the money.
Just like everybody else. You have to prove it, right? And and Kevin O'Connell proved that he can coach no matter who the hell his quarterback is.
Yeah. And turn the court. I mean, if you have a coach that can turn a bust quarterback into an MVP candidate, I mean, man, I can't even imagine a better skill in sports.
Yeah.
If we let Sam Darnold walk and Kevin O'Connell turns JJ McCarthy into who we think he can be, I mean, you're talking like Kevin O'Connell is going to go from like a really good head coach to like legendary status pretty quickly because nobody does that. Nobody does what he did. He got the best out of Kirk Cousins, got the best like 2-game stretch out of Josh Dobbs. Like, it's
Nick
insane.
Mullins putting up a ton of yards. Like,
Nick Mullins putting up a ton of yards
and dumb decisions. But
and that's another thing too. Is like, I really do think like besides Sam Darnold or JJ McCarthy, like if it came down to just Daniel Jones, I would not be surprised if Kevin O'Connell gets the absolute best out of Daniel Jones. Like, I don't know. You were feeling good about him. Then we hire Ben Johnson. We need to go get Ben Johnson as offensive coordinator.
Yeah, man. I don't know.
That'd be interesting.
This team just has something special, man. And I mean, I don't know. And this, because this isn't the 2022 team, right? Like, Kevin O'Connell proved some of his coaching chops in 2022, getting that team with this shitty defense to 13-4, or 13-4. But what he's doing with this team this year, look out, man. Look out.
Dude, I'm so excited. Again, everybody, about to give away the JJ McCarthy rookie card. Whether we sign Sam Darnold to a franchise, I really do not see a long-term extension, but this guy is the future of the Minnesota Vikings, in my opinion, still, and it's going to take a lot to change that. I'd be very surprised if any of you ever see me come on here and are like, let's roll a Sam Darnold next year. And that's nothing to do with Sam Darnold. I think he's a stud, but I think we could have the biggest thing for me is I think we have potential to have the best roster in the NFL. With Sam Darnold, I just like right now, I think we could win a Super Bowl. I don't think we have the best roster in the NFL. And that's with Sam Darnold at $10 million a year. So in my opinion, I'm like, you're paying him $45 million a year.
Technically, we got $35 million with the quarterback money on the books this year.
Yeah, that is true. But still, I mean, all right, but that's going to get eaten up next year then. So are we at our ceiling right now? Can our team get better other than like banking on our young guys like Turner being better and things like that? Like, can this team become better? Because under JJ McCarthy, yes, he's the question mark. This team has a chance to be the most talented team in the NFL. If you can fill in the offensive line, if you can, which we can with the money we have and the draft picks we do have, even if limited, but you still have your first round picks. If you can fill in the defensive interior, if you can fill in the cornerback spots that are going to be a big problem coming into this offseason, and that interior offensive line, get a wide receiver 3 and a good future running back, which you definitely can do with JJ McCarthy's rookie contract. That's the biggest thing for me, is your ceiling is higher with JJ McCarthy as a Viking squad. And unless you think Sam Darnold and what this team kind of looks like right now can go beat guys like Patrick Mahomes, and those guys up there, the Lions, the Eagles, like those guys, like Lions and Eagles are just more well-rounded than us. And they're probably going to be if we have Sam Darnold on this team.
But I mean, again, I'd say trust Rob Brzezinski if we did go that way, to be able to make some gymnastics work, to where at least for the next 5 years we'd have enough cap space to do whatever the hell we wanted to. Maybe after that you'd be looking at some question marks, but that's kind of what you want your window to be anyway. And I think they would be able to find a way to make it happen. But I don't know.
You're gonna have to kick the can down the road, and if you do get you're gonna kick the can down the road. I don't care what you say, or you're banking on that. Quasi's just that great at getting free agents, and he can just get Blake Cashmans and Van Ginkels and Grenard every single offseason. And I mean, maybe that's the case, but otherwise, you're kicking the can down the. And if you do decide to go with Sam Darnold, then fuck it, you're going for it. Kick the can down the road. I don't care. Get in cap hell again. You're going to have to, because not very often are you going to be in this situation.
I don't think it's going to end up being cap. We're not going to be in like the Saints level of cap hell. But either way, no matter what decision they make, I think Kwesi and Kevin O'Connell have earned the trust enough of the fan base for, if they do that, I'm going to trust them 100% and just be like, these guys, I think they've earned that right to be able to make whatever decision they make, and for the fan base to be like, okay, they think this is the best future for the franchise, I'm in. And again, that's whatever option
it's going to take
just because it all does come down to them. Whatever they truly 100% believe. Like
next year. Why are we so fixed? Yeah, the season. Yeah, I mean that. Of course, I said it like immediately after. What game was it? The Tennessee game? Was it that game? I don't know. I was like, pretty much it's just like, get ready. This is like the Kirk. Maybe it was just it wasn't just last week. We can't
all agree on what, because now I'm starting to see the hostility. I'm starting to see people like, if you don't
it's going to happen
next year, you're an idiot. I'm like, oh, here we go.
Yeah. No, that's what I was telling you. I'm like, get ready for the Kirk Cousins thing to completely go to the Sam Darnold JJ. It's going to happen. It's going to be talked every single week. But it's going to be Super Bowl week, and people are going to worry more about what's going to happen after that than they are going to be the Super Bowl. That's just what it is. That's what's going to happen. But as we said,
if we're having this conversation in December, January, February, it's a great thing because things are going as well as they did. So, Jamie, the one thing we're going to have to do by season's end is we're going to have to take our first video that we made before the season started and say that we're smart people, because that was called The Legend of Sam Darnold Begins. That was our very first video, our first pregame video. And look,
what's going on, Sal?
And look what it's all come down
to. Welcome in.
Team. We called it. We called Sam Darnold legendary season. We called it.
Which, I mean, a lot of that had to just do with more with Kevin O'Connell. I wasn't one of those people. I thought Sam Darnold, I think I can speak for both of us, when we were feeling pretty confident that Sam Darnold was going to not be a bad quarterback. We felt like he was playing with his best team. I mean, and I will say the same thing about JJ McCarthy. Like, you got Kevin O'Connell and you got some of the best weapons in the NFL on this team. And that's the reason why we're like, I think Sam Darnold can succeed here. He's easily crushing my expectations. Don't get me wrong. He easily is. But again, going into next season, I would feel the same exact way with JJ McCarthy, a guy who there's a lot of people reports coming from the inside that JJ McCarthy was closer than people thought to grabbing the week 1 starting job. And you know how Kevin O'Connell coming out, and also, I guess I don't know, Paul, then. What'd you say, Sal? I guess what I forgot I was going to say. I don't know, but Kevin O'Connell, what he can do with these quarterbacks. Oh, that's what I was gonna say. Is him saying like JJ McCarthy's our future quarterback with like he's not a guy who will say something that he doesn't mean. So it does make you feel like they really liked what they saw throughout training camp of the kid that is JJ McCarthy. And that's why I would be honestly super surprised. I wouldn't maybe, he's coming off an injury. If we franchise tagged Sam Darnold and kept him around next year, I could see that. But I would be very surprised if we do an extension past that. Unless I keep Darnold doesn't know ball, so I don't know ball. Anyone who wants to keep Darnold doesn't. Oh, Kinetic said,
Kinetic? Oh man, that's not very nice. I'm kidding.
Well, Kinetic's a big Michigan fan, but
yeah, he's big,
Al, so your team, hey, whatever. It's all good.
She has the candle, of course.
Oh yeah,
she got the Sam Darnold candle.
Oh yeah, that's right. No, I mean I like Sam Darnold a lot, but it's going to be a lot for me to turn away from Team JJ. It's not even Team JJ McCarthy. It is Team better overall offense.
See, but I'm just like I'm in the same spot that I was with the Kirk Cousins scenario, where I'm just going to sit back and watch, and I'll give my take on both sides because I think either option would be great for the future of this team. But I'm on that spot where I'm going to sit back and whatever happens. And I think some people are going to say, "Oh, it sounds cheap, like you're just a homer, you're okay with whatever they do." But I am 100% fine with either direction because I think.
There's no reason not to be confident in them, right?
And there's a bunch of different things that could happen. But obviously, as Too Evil keeps saying, like there's a lot of season left to play, and we just got to get through this season, get to the playoffs, get to a Super Bowl, and we'll talk about it after that. Because who knows? Sam Darnold wins the Super Bowl. He gets a statue built outside of US Bank Stadium, goes on and makes $55-60 million per year, and we roll.
Yeah. No, I'm cool. Like if he wins the Super Bowl, man, build the statue, let him go to Tennessee for a first round pick or something.
Back to the Jets, revitalize that franchise.
That would be crazy, but that's impossible. Like anybody could go. Patrick Mahomes could go to the Jets and fail probably. So, anyways, let's get this card going. Giving away, I talked about them already. Giving away the JJ McCarthy rookie card. Get the hashtag Skols in the comments, like the video, and subscribe. We are about to give away this card. And again, hey, appreciate everybody with the super chats. I wasn't expecting everybody. Merry Christmas to everybody as well. Again, we're going to be here on Thursday, the day after Christmas, and talk about this Packer game coming up, which is going to be a big deal. And hopefully they just lose this week, so they're down in the dumps for that one.
Hopefully they win, so we can knock them off their high horse. Either one.
Yeah, I don't know. Either way, we're gonna whoop that Packer ass. So. Trade Sam and make it him into Genty in another first. Yeah, I mean, if that's one thing that is annoying me though, is like how come everybody's talking about whether we sign or give Sam Darnold the franchise tag or go or let him walk, but like not enough people are talking about the franchise tag and trade.
Well, right, it's
annoying.
But in order for the franchise tag and trade to work, you need to know going into the franchise tag that somebody is going to want to trade for him. And I do think this organization would do the best for Sam. So I think that they would they would only go into that scenario if they knew that there was a team he wanted to play for that was interested, instead of having to outbid other people or let Darnold get the free agency and go from there, that they would be basically in agreement on a trade and then extending Sam to a long-term extension. Because I think the Vikings will do right by Sam Darnold. I don't think they're going to strong arm him into anything. So in order for a tag and trade to work, there'd have to be another party that wants him bad enough to not have to try to negotiate with him and win that negotiation, to basically where we could just tag him, he would sign it, trade him, they'd rip that up, sign him to a new contract, and we get whatever picks back.
Yeah,
so
which I'm assuming they're going to be. Yeah, and I do think you just need two players two teams that are. We already went through the whole thing,
right? But there's
going to be players that I can see it.
There might be one team that he knows wants him, that he wants to go to, who might just be like, "Hey, we'll just pay you this," and then they won't need to give up draft picks. That's what it all comes down to at the end of the day, right?
No. I mean, I care. I want him to go where he wants it to some extent, but if we can get something from him, I want a first rounder from him. Maybe like the Jets, like, hey, we're not going to send you to the Jets. That's it. But other than that, we're grabbing some picks. I don't even care. If we can. Hey, Bleeding Jamie, show us your. No, man, that's crazy.
I love that idea. Yeah, just pop the shirt up. Let me see.
I said this last week and the week before that, but this is the last team this is the last time I'm wearing this. The last time I'm ever wearing this again. Promise you that. Promise you that. I know it's a conversation for another day, but what are we doing when Addison ready to get paid? Paying him. If we have JJ McCarthy, we'll be able to pay him. If we have Sam Darnold on $45 million a year, then probably let him walk.
They'd find a way.
Anyways, again, everybody giving away the JJ McCarthy card. I keep saying that and not doing it, but get the hashtag Skols in the comments, like the video, and subscribe. I'm gonna bring this up right now. Oh yeah, what did I want to say? Oh yeah. By the way, yeah, Sal's going live tomorrow at 7 on First and Skol. If you guys aren't following them or subscribe to them, you should be, and I'm sure you are. But go do that and check out Sal's show. She's killing it over there. Every single week. Definitely tap in there. Yeah, amazing job over there. But yeah, get those hashtag Skols in here. I'm gonna bring this up. Boom. Hey, we love you too, Sal. Merry Christmas, everyone. Let's go. Let's go. I know, Sal, we're gonna be doing some guests and stuff again coming this off season, but we definitely need to get you on here again. We need to get a bunch of people on here again, to be honest. We've been slacking in that department. If you will, anyways. If you would want to, of course. All right, let's give this. Hey, 15 entries. We're gonna have some good odds here. Let's get it. 3, 2, 1. So if anybody doesn't know, we pick 5 names. Those 5 names goes into the duck race. Whoever wins the duck race wins the whole thing. Starting with Berserk, the Packer fan. That's all right. He knows he's good. That JJ McCarthy card's he knows it's gonna be worth something, as they're gonna be whooping on. He's gonna be whooping on the Packers for years to come. Obviously, Garrett, you're still in here. You got to be. So let's keep on rolling here. I need to. Sounds good, Mark. And all your stuff should be on its way, by the way. Hey, Barber. Barber, you've got to be in here. It's been a second. Barber's never not in here.
Would he?
No, I don't think so.
I think so. We can see.
We'll keep on.
I'll keep an eye out.
All right. All right. Oh, shoot. Barber, there's no way. There's no way you're not here. Bleeding Purple. No, it doesn't even. If you Bleeding Purple threw some money at us today, which we appreciate big time. I don't care if you're in here or not. You are in the running for this. But let us know if you're in here. It'd just be good to know. But you're in this no matter what. You're here anyways. Keep it on rolling.
Barber's here. Okay.
Hey, Kinetic. Kinetic, like this video. He already said it. See, that's all you got to do. Just say like the video. If you do things like that, you'll get drawn. Kinetic, Barber. All right, we got one more spot in here. 3, 2, 1. Got to be here to make it to the next round. Got to be here to make it to the next round. And we've got... Boom. Mark. Mark's in here, and he said he will give this away if he does win. So someone else might be able to get this.
So do we want to respin for his spot, or let him see if he wins? And
I say we let him in the duck race, and then if he wins, he gets to pick whoever he wants, or you can keep the card too, whatever. But let's get it. Let me bring this up over here. All right, we got the names in here. Berserk, Bleeding Purple, Kinetic, Barber, Mark, done. 45 seconds, set on the clock. What we got, 13 wins or 14? 13, and then we go 14 if we don't like what we see?
Yeah, I like that idea.
What about your other hats? Which ones? I got like hats for days. Which hats? We got the Wolves hats, but this doesn't get to be worn right now because they're being disappointed. Too many hats. All right. Anyways, 12 or 13 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13.
14.
You don't like this one?
Oh, 15.
I mean, that's pretty. 15. All right, we're winning our next 2 games. Let's go. Wow.
16. After the bye week, we win 16.
After the bye week, we're winning.
We got Grandma Duck, Green Duck. Cucumber Mask Duck. I don't know. Love
That's
Duck.
Spot Duck.
Josh
Spot
Dobbs.
Duck. Josh Dobbs. Let's go. The Wolves, yeah, they are. I don't know. Hopefully they turn things around. Are good at disappointing. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they'll find that chemistry with the new players and stuff like that, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens at the trade deadline. That's going to be interesting. But let's get it. 3, 2, 1. With Berserk with the early lead, it looks like everybody's right neck to neck early. Kinetic taking it. Bleeding Purple about to hit second. You got Mark chilling in the back. That's kind of a place you like to see. That's crazy. We whooped on the Nuggets, dude. Remember, Dylan? Mark's in the back. You know that's good. You know that's good. Let's see. Berserk's hanging out there. Barber's hanging out there. We got 7. Oh, Mark. No, Barber. It's Barber. It's Barber. It's Barber. Hey. Let's go. Let's go. Hey, George, missed you, man.
George Blunt with a new profile picture there?
Yeah, I know. Oh, is that a puppy, dude? You got a little puppy going on over there? Let's go, Barber. Let's go. Let me turn this duck thing off. Obviously, Barber, I have all of your information since you've been here forever, pretty much. Yeah, I guess anything else?
No, I think that's about it. Vikings are 13-2. 2 huge games coming up, and obviously we'll really dig into that Packers game on Thursday. They are playing the Saints right now. Hopefully the Saints can do us a little bit of favor. I mean,
how are the Nuggets looking this year? They're looking worse than us.
Oh, goodness. But anyway.
We gave JJ McCarthy a rookie card.
Yeah. But we will be back, obviously, on Thursday at 6 p.m. Central Time. Maybe a little later than 6 p.m. We'll keep you guys posted on that. But we'll be here Thursday to break down the Packer game. Going to be a big game. Move to 325, America's Game of the Week on Fox. It's a big one, man. And then after that, win that game, then you most likely get the last game of the year, Sunday Night Football, against the Lions, and that'll be for all the marbles. But we got to make it past the Packers first. It's going to be a fun week.
Long season, Jamie. Sit down, be humble. Dude, I'm the most humble person in here.
Yeah.
I'm a Viking fan. Come on. Anyway, there ain't no humble in Minnesota sports right now.
Thank you guys so much for joining us. Like I said, we'll see you guys right here on Thursday, 6 p.m. Central Time. Maybe a little later, we'll let you know. But see you guys next time.
Skol Vikes.